Good day, everyone. My name is Dulcimer, and I'm a fairy at Sherwood Forest Fair. And today I'm going to tell you the story of the old woman who lived in a vinegar bottle. Once upon a time, a wish-granting fairy was making her rounds, looking for a deserving human upon whom she could cast her magics. She searched the kingdom high and low, east and west, looking for that human, until, finally, over a particularly dark and desolate part of the kingdom, she heard a voice coming from far below. It was grumbling to itself. She flew down to investigate, and, to her astonishment, she saw it was an old woman living curled up inside a dusty old vinegar bottle. The old woman was lying inside the bottle, saying to herself, "Here I am, stuck inside this dusty old vinegar bottle, when what I really want is to be living in a cozy cottage in the woods, with a roaring fire at which to warm my hands." Well, the fairy heard her wish, and she revealed herself to the astonished old woman. "Old woman," she said, "before you go to bed tonight, touch your nose 3 times and make your wish, and in the morning it shall be granted." So the old woman did as the fairy said. Before she went to bed that night, she touched her nose 3 times, she made her wish, and in the morning she woke to find herself inside that cozy cottage. Well, the fairy returned a week later, hoping to find the old woman happy and settled. But instead, she heard again a grumbling coming from inside the cottage. She flew down, and this time she heard the old woman saying, "Here I am, stuck inside this mouldy old cottage in the woods, when what I really want is to be living in a grand mansion with thousands of white horses and servants at my command and golden tapestries on the walls." Well, the fairy wanted to make the old woman happy, and so once again she flew down and she revealed herself. And she said, "Old woman, before you go to bed tonight, touch your nose 3 times and make your wish, and in the morning it shall be granted." So the old woman once again did as the fairy asked. Before she went to bed that night, she touched her nose 3 times, she made her wish, and when she woke in the morning, she was indeed living inside that grand mansion. So surely now the old woman would be happy, the fairy thought. She returned a week later, and do you think the old woman was happy this time? No. Once again, the fairy heard grumbling coming from inside the mansion. This time, the old woman was saying, "Here I am, stuck inside this old mansion, when what I really want is to be queen of all the land, with whole armies at my command, and stables full of beautiful horses, and peacocks on the lawn, and a king at my side." Well, do you think the fairy granted the old woman's wish this time? No, she didn't. Instead, she waved her wand, and with a whirl and a swirl of magic, the old woman was transported right back into that dusty old vinegar bottle, where she lived grumpily ever after. And it served her right. The end.